The excavation and trenching may be a very easy and fast operation in unconsolidated formation, and it may be very hard or long operation in hard formations. The excavation process includes water pit, waste pit, sewage beds, and cellar. The mud pit was used to store the drilling fluid and they were called earthen pits. Now we prefer to use steel tanks for such purposes. The mud pit now is used as a waste bed of cuttings and drilling fluids. Its length, width, and depth should be pre-designed. The length of a waste pit should be enough to align all dump lines on it. The key factors of waste bed volume are width and depth. We should design a waste pit with enough volume to handle cuttings, dumped mud, and anything you will get rid of. Also, we should accommodate for the rain water. Yes, the rainwater can cause the waste pit to overflow, which had unpleasant effect on the environment. All the pits used on the drilling location should be covered with a thick plastic sheet to prevent the contamination of soil with oil and contaminated water. A simple rule of thumb is to design mud pit volume with 3 to 4 times well volume. For example, if we are going to drill a 7,000 feet well, and let's assume the whole well will be drilled with 12.25 inches bed, the required pit volume equals to 7,000 multiplied by the capacity of the hole multiplied by 3, which will give you 17,200 cubic feet. We know the bit length from the layout of mud system, for example 60 feet. Then the remaining area will be 290 square feet. So if you are going to excavate 6 feet pit, the required width should be 50 feet. The waste pit should be drilled slowly. This increases the strength of the walls and prevents the collapse of them. In some remote areas, it's hard to find an accessible water source, so we go for excavating water bed to store water enough for the drilling operation. This water bed should be designed with enough capacity to support the drilling operation in complete mud loss situation. Sewage pits are used as a sewage water container. They should be enough distance away from the camps to keep insects and bad odor away from the camp area. The cellar is excavated depending on sub-base design, taking in consideration the filling. It's used to keep the wellhead below the ground level so that if a high BOP stack is required, it can be accommodated without having to use an abnormally high substructure. During the production phase, the Christmas tree is at a level which can easily be reached. The base for the rig substructure may be leveled with ground, level the ground with a layer of sand several inches deep, concrete slab up to 12 inches thick depending on the weight of the rig and soil, silicone mats. Now let's talk about the potential hazards existing in the excavation process and their solutions. Dust and airborne contaminants can cause respiratory problems or allergic reactions, so all personnel should wear appropriate respiratory protection. Buried pipelines and cables can be damaged, leading to serious environmental problems, so a sightline location survey must be performed before starting anywhere. Trenching is really important for collecting water and disposing it to the bed. It can be a concrete trench or a ground trench. Examples of these trenches are cellar trenches, mud system trenches, and mud bomb trenches. It's essential to prevent water and ground pollution, and for this reason, it's important that no foreign matter should leave the location. The surface area of a location should be coated and drained, and construction and maintenance of the site should be such that all types of pollution, such as oil and contaminated water, are trapped and not allowed to leave the working area. It's common to construct dual drainage system. The larger system will be used to drain rain water falling in areas which are unlikely to be contaminated. This system doesn't require treatment and water can be disposed directly. The other system will be used under drain units, mud tanks, and fuel storage tanks. Oil traps are made to provide a mean for treating oil-contaminated water by skimming process. The skimming process depends on gravity segregation. Oil has less density than water, so oil tends to be on top of water. And by the use of oil-wet material, it can be easily removed. Well, this is all for now. See you in the next lecture.